Well, Israel has carried out fresh airstrikes this Friday on the suburbs of Lebanon's capital, Beirut. State media reporting aircraft carried out a heavy strike in the Burj al Brajne neighborhood. Earlier, a drone fired two missiles on Dahieh. We can speak to our correspondent to get an update on these strikes. Rawad Taha standing by. Hello to you, Rawad. What more can you tell us about these latest strikes?
So, indeed, Israel has intensified its strikes on Beirut's southern suburbs over the past few days. So, over the past weeks, we've seen almost near daily strikes during the night on Beirut's southern suburbs. However, over the past 48 hours, Israel has intensified its strikes on the southern suburbs of Beirut, with strikes during the day, early in the morning, and as well as in the evening hours and at night. Earlier this morning, at around 6 a.m., we woke up to a number of warnings released by the Israeli army through its Arabic spokesperson, calling for the evacuation of a number of buildings located in Beirut's southern suburbs. However, what is important to note is that this is one of the very few times when the outskirts of Beirut's southern suburbs, meaning an area that is so close to Beirut, near Tayoune, that was targeted just a short while ago. A significant number of airstrikes overnight and early this morning in the Beirut area, in Burj al Barajne, in Shuaifat, and as well very close to the city of Beirut in Tayoune.
Rouad, what can you tell us about these reports that the U.S. has submitted to Lebanon a draft truce proposal? What's the reaction been there?
So we still don't have a lot of details on that proposal. However, according to sources I spoke to, indeed, the U.S. has submitted an updated ceasefire proposal for Lebanon through the U.S. Embassy and the U.S. Ambassador in Beirut. That proposal was handed over to the Speaker of Parliament, Nabih Berri, who is responsible for handling the negotiations on the behalf of their ally, Hezbollah. One thing to note in particular is that the main issue relies today on whether the fact that any ceasefire proposal actually explicitly maintains Israel's right of direct involvement in case, quote unquote, Lebanon and Hezbollah don't comply fully with the UN Resolution 1701 and the agreement which will be put in place. So this is the main hurdle over the next period. Israel wants an explicit a statement from the U.S. and in that ceasefire deal with Lebanon that in case the Lebanese army doesn't fully implement 1701 UN resolution, it has the right to intervene directly to dismantle any Hezbollah infrastructure south of Litani or to attack any supply routes for Hezbollah's rearmament. That is something which, up until this moment, the Lebanese government and the Speaker Nabih Berri are refusing to agree, calling that such a statement in the ceasefire or such a side deal between Israel and the U.S. is a violation of Lebanese sovereignty, according to them, that they are ready to implement UN Resolution 1701 and thus demilitarizing the southern area of Lebanon, in particular south of the Litani River, from Hezbollah militants, deploying the Lebanese army, yet making no commitments to stopping Hezbollah's rearmament.
This Friday, an advisor of the Iran supreme leader is to meet with Lebanon's prime minister. What do we expect to come out of that visit?
So we know for a fact that he was in Damascus just a few hours ago. He landed there yesterday, where he conducted a number of meetings with pro-Iranian militia leaders, as well as officials from the Syrian government. He's expected, and he has been meeting with Lebanese officials over the past. He arrived in Beirut earlier this morning. One thing to keep in mind is that, according to some reports, that there could be some sort of a talk on that ceasefire proposal, which was handed over to Speaker Berri during the meeting of Speaker Berri with the advisor to the supreme leader of Iran, Larijani. Now, whether that is true, that could indicate that the negotiations are actually at a higher level. The decision of a ceasefire potentially could be in the hand of Larijani, and that upcoming meeting with Speaker Berri, if indeed it's true that Berri will be actually discussing that ceasefire proposal, which was put forward by the U.S. Overnight during that meeting with Iran's supreme leader advisor. Besides that, of course, sideline meetings with other Hezbollah officials away from the media. We don't have any clear remarks or any clear schedule of who he will be meeting from Hezbollah. We do know that he will be meeting with the Speaker of Parliament and the caretaker Prime Minister.